Audiophile servers. Well, this question comes to us from, I can't pronounce your name. I probably can, but I'm going to give it a try. Joao, Joao, from Porto, Portugal, which I've only seen pictures of it. Boy, I want to go there. As soon as COVID's over, I'm going to come to your city. Joao writes to me, "Hey Paul, thanks for your always informative and interesting videos." Certainly. I never lose one. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe you once said that the Ethernet switches have no impact on audio quality. So we shouldn't spend a fortune on audiophile Ethernet switches. What about music servers though? Should we consider an audiophile server? Should we care about the hardware inside being designed for audiophile use? Yes, you should. But let's talk for a brief second about my comment about why Ethernet doesn't matter. Because that's like everything we do, it's always more complicated than just a simple yes or no. So in one respect, it doesn't matter at all. It can't. When music starts on a distant server, let's say Qobuz, maybe it's somewhere in Sweden, or from an Amazon server, which who knows where Amazon servers are, those packets of digital audio data are sent crisscrossing the world over satellite, through underground cables. I mean, who knows? Wi-Fi. I mean, however they get to you, it doesn't matter. It can always get to you somehow. And once it does, it's all collected up and then put into your server. So some of that is traveling around the world, some of that's traveling next door. Again, it can't matter, and it makes no difference whatsoever to sound quality how those packets of digital audio data get to you. Once they get into your house and they get into your router, the very last mile, that last leg, that can be important. Why? Because not for the data is going to be the same, as long as you don't have any errors. What the difference is that last bit can have noise, dirty grounds, power supply stuff getting into your server. And that's where it does make a difference. And that's where we got to be careful. So inside your server, you have what's called an SBC, a single board computer. It could be a Raspberry Pi. It could be any number of things. You could have it in a Mac Mini, right? Here's an old Mac Mini. You could have it in a Windows computer. Whatever you got, it's a computer, and that computer is noisy as hell. Power supply noise, ground noise, EMI, RF, everything you don't want that'll muck up the signal is in here, and you have to be as careful as you can to keep it out of the final signal going into your DAC. And that's where it gets critical. So we have a new server coming out. It's going to be called the PS Audio Streamer or something clever like that. And its whole thing in life is separated into two areas. One is this single board computer. And there, we just have to make sure that it is up to the task, that it's adequate, right? And again, it could be, you might buy a server from us and then 6 months later, the same server we're selling will have a different SBC in. But we know from experience that we can do that without changing the sound, and that's not something most companies can say. And here's why. The trick is to isolate physically, electrically, and every other which way the output stage from the SBC, from the computer. Because if you can do that, then whatever noise and stuff this is grinding away with won't affect the output stage. And that's key. So our streamers are all galvanically isolated. There's no wires touching it. The signal is transmitted through a very short little RF path. It travels through the air. There's no grounds. It has its own power supply, has its own clocks, all that kind of stuff. So what you get is a low jitter, perfectly clean digital audio signal, and that's making all the difference in the world sonically. It doesn't matter what's going on over here. What we get out over here is pure and perfect and sounds right. And that's what matters. Okay, thanks for the question. I'll talk to you tomorrow.